I want to start right from the beginning, the first time we came to investigate the Sedamsville Rectory. I went in with fellow investigator Paul Bigelow for the first time. We had several personal experiences. The first 2 times we investigated the rectory, we came up with 0 evidence. But I had heard a man's voice whisper in my ear as I went down into the basement the first time. Very clear. Paul and I both smelled smoldering smoke coming from the priest room. Only lasted a few seconds and it was gone. It wasn't until the 3rd time when we investigated the rectory that we actually captured evidence of an image anomaly and a solid EVP. This image anomaly was taken with an infrared camera with a high beam spotlight and appears to show something breaking and splitting the light into strands. Now we've tried to recreate this and had no success. It appears that something is actually bending the light in this image. Here's our very first EVP we captured at the rectory. It's right in front of that doorway, right in front of the back door.
All right, here's your chance. Speak up, say something.
That is all we captured after the first 5 or 6 investigations. Something's hiding with this place. It's concealed. We capture more evidence in 2 hours in residential locations than we capture all night at the rectory. The invisible intelligence here is hiding something. When I went back in with ARC investigator Chris Owens, we were looking for something to trigger the activity here or enhance it. I find it tough to capture anything in this rectory. It seems to make more noise when we vacate the location.
Come on down here, Casper.
Then we finally found something that would allow us to strike the nerve at this rectory. Chris Owens said that Terry Scott recently put a blog on Sedamsvillerectory.com. We really appreciate Terry Scott and her honesty. If you read her blogs, it may sound crazy, but she's telling you the honest truth. So in her recent blog at that time, entitled The Conjuring We Go, Hi-Ho the Demon O, she talks about these stuffed animal bunnies at the rectory that were teleported around the rectory. She got so upset about it that they threw them in a trash bin and got rid of them, only months later to appear back in the rectory. So I told Chris Owens, "You want to see how honest these blogs are?" She said they were in the pantry, and that's when we found the bunnies. Yes, we call them Casper's bunnies. And we're never nice to these things at the rectory. We never have been. So as soon as we pulled the bunnies for the first time, we started making threats of whose they were and what we were going to do to them. After we vacated the rectory and had everything on the bunnies, we would come back in, start shutting our cameras down. Our voice recorder would capture a Class A EVP. Other EVPs that we have captured, like Kill 'em, we cannot put that into context. There's no way knowing if they want us to kill them or them to kill us. This voice we captured here, we can put into context and we know exactly what it is saying. This cold, calm, calloused voice reveals a lot. When you come and you investigate inside this rectory, they know exactly what you're doing in here. Casper, we got your bunny. We got your bunny. Come on out. This is a really interesting capture right here. The device we're using is a monotronic paracorder. It's an EMF vortex pump in the lower right here, and it's an electrostatic detector. It detects high amounts of static electricity. Right there is that light flashes. I accidentally hit the cord. It pulls the ultraviolet light off for us 1 second, and the exact second that light is flipped off and on, that meter goes off. Almost like the UV light is holding something back. Watch this. This is very odd. This meter goes off the exact second that light is pulled away. And this meter just never went off in this mode. You have to actually touch it a few times to get it to set off. What would UV light have to do with holding back, say, static electricity? Does this make any sense? This is really weird why it would act this way. But we use a high flux ultraviolet light to bleed into the camera's image sensor because it can see in ultraviolet way beyond what we can. Alright. We have caught some very interesting things around these bunnies.
I'm filming your bunnies.
Chris Owens is in here during the daytime by himself, about to run an
I'm gonna set this
SB7
little
spirit
thing
box.
down. You just talk to
And he
it.
rips the antenna off of his box so we get mainly static. These things are great because you
Tell
get
me
these direct
Who they
responses from
belong
them.
to.
And whatever these invisible intelligences are, they have the ability
Do these
to
bunnies
manipulate and
belong
affect
to you?
electronics. So they can manipulate electrons, simply.
Whose bunnies are these?
It has. It has. It has.
I could not make that out. Is Father MacLeod still on this property? Okay. If he is, do these bunnies belong to him? Who's the guy in here with the deep voice? Say that again. Who's the guy in here with the deep voice? What's your name? The guy with the deep voice that told me to review something when I was here last. What's your name? Talk. What is your name? Use this box.
Killing.
You gonna kill me? Why are you gonna kill? Why do you want to kill me?
Since the claims from this location are of a malevolent force, and we get the point that they like to kill us, we like taunting them with these bunnies. We've got something weird going on with these bunny rabbits. There is some type of connection with this location. So when we make threats, a lot of times we have gotten responses. Now, we do not want to harm or actually destroy these stuffed animals because this is not our property. We have to be respectful.
Now your control is off the bunnies.
Weird.
Alright, let me grab my phone and change this camera.
Right here, we have an infrared laser grid on the bunny with several other devices. Now we catch this flash of light. It's a pinpoint flash of light right here. I'll highlight it. It's real quick. It's not a particle floating in front of a laser beam. We know what those look like. They're actually in motion. Watch this, a pinpoint flash of light out of nowhere. Now, I've given tours of Bobby Mackey's for a year in the basement, and this is exactly what I've seen with my own eyes in pitch black darkness. Pinpoint flashes of light.
What? Okay. Oh, saw something shoot up again.
Now, right here, Chris Owens is seeing some things shoot up in front of his camera. Are these translucent things we see? Or is this just dust particle floating around? Let's just say this is nothing more than dust particle.
Oh,
There's nothing to see there.
Is that a fucking gnat? Hey, Kevin? Yeah. I keep catching these little things on my monitor, like little balls of light, and they shoot up and disappear. I don't know if it's a bug.
Did you see that? Pinpoint flash of light outside that doorway, upper left-hand corner. There's no light on it. Self-illuminating pinpoint flash of light. This one actually moves a little bit. It's almost like it's pulsating, and we've seen this before.
It's not happening all the time.
Come on, man, play the piano or something. Somebody in here can play the piano, right? You can play it. Your bunnies are on it, play it.
This is the night I stayed all night in the rectory alone. It's around quarter to 3 in the morning.
Just one note. It's like quarter to 3 in the morning. You hit one note on that piano, I'll leave you alone all night, I promise. Just smash it. Boom.
Whatever these things are at the rectory,
I'll leave you alone.
I've done nothing but degrade them from the beginning. I think eventually they'd try to take a strike at me or do something to me. But the fact is, I get nothing but peace and harmony and good vibes from this place. Yes, I've felt things touch me. I felt weird magnetic things here. Nothing malevolent towards me whatsoever. Besides the voices, of course, that want to kill us.
Well, we got another option. I could just burn your fucking bunny.
And here's just another example of why these bunnies are important. You make a threat against them, then shit starts to happen.
Dust. Is that a bug? Is that a bug or is that you, Casper?
Right there, something flies directly in front of the camera. People like to say, oh, this is just dust, it's just particle, it's a bug. Take a good look at this. It's translucent. No, it's not going into the fireplace. Look at the depth of field on this. It's right in front of me in that sofa. Look at the shape of it. It looks like it's going into an invisible seam or a wall. We've caught these things many times. They're not dust. They're not particle. Here's a negative enhanced. What the hell are they? People think these are spirits or ghosts or goblins or demons, but those are just theories. All we know is we're dealing with invisible intelligences and invisible energy sources. This is really weird right here. The reason I went in here and stayed the night alone is because it's so subtle It don't do much. It don't interact much. It does more when you leave. So it's hiding something. And every time I'm in here with one other person, I like two-man investigations. It's one too many. I had to go in by myself to see if this would actually show me something, if I would see something, if it would do something to me. It did absolutely nothing. I heard one little knock, one little noise all night, and I ragged on it all night as hard as I could. To objectively study these things, we need to test them and challenge them. They're not exactly getting people to bake cookies and do good things now, are they?
There you go, Casper. What are you hitting on?
Now this capture right here requires some explanation. When you deal with a digital camera, it's built the same optics as a human eye. There's a visual chip inside the camera. It can see an infrared and an ultraviolet beyond what we can see. But they only put a filter on the infrared side, so it blocks it, or all your pictures would be hot pink. Why don't they put a block on the ultraviolet side of these visual chips? Because when you put visible light or infrared light with ultraviolet,
The transition between infrared and ultraviolet.
it becomes completely invisible.
Step in front of this
That's
camera.
exactly why we use this high flux UV light to peer into the ultraviolet spectrum.
Don't bullshit me. Just me and you here. That's all there is. Get in front of this camera, I'm gonna transition.
This footage here is with an infrared camera. It does not see the ultraviolet light that the GoPro camera sees because it's not modified to see infrared. The filter's still on it. So this is videotaping in infrared into UV light, which makes the UV invisible.
I'm switching the camera to auto fire every 2 seconds. Casper. Come on out, Casper. Come on out and play. You afraid to play?
Right here is the first image taken with the GoPro and ultraviolet. All I did was take the image saturation down and bring up the luminosity, and you can see some type of strange mist inside this doorway. The infrared camera did not see this. This is only visible in ultraviolet light. The camera was shooting images every 2 seconds. This is the first shot. Right here is the second shot. And I will itemize every shot after until it becomes totally clear again. Now right here I've lightened this video up so we can see what we're looking at. There's nothing in that doorway. I did not vape in here that night. I did not run a fog machine that night. Look to the right of the image. You can see some type of weird mist rolling through. Barely visible as well.
Casper. Come on out, Casper. Come on out and play. You afraid to play?
This spot right here in front of the back door is a hot spot. There is some type of anomalous energy, invisible energy running right through this location, right here. Now this footage here is taken with the DVR camera while we vacate the rectory. And you'll see these things float by. These are nothing but dust particle illuminated by the infrared light. It's just the optics. Looks like a smoke ring or a donut. It's got a circle. It's just optics. Dust particle. But what we captured here on the second floor, this is not no dust particle. This is not no bug. Take a good look at this. It's best described as a worm. But take a good look at this frame by frame. Slow it down. It's not moving at consistent speed. Look how fast slow it jumps, then how fast it jumps. Look, right there to there, then boom. It's jumping higher, then boom. The important thing to notice about this footage, this is no bug smearing because it's low frame rate. Watch how it jumps. The speed is not consistent. It's changing speed. The important thing to notice is when this thing comes through and it goes into that doorway into the priest room, we have an ultraviolet light in there. The high flux UV light is in there. Take a good look at the curves this thing's making. Look at that. It becomes invisible when it hits that UV light. You see that? Now this was right at the top of the steps, right in front of the priest bedroom. This is the room Paul and I smelled smoldering smoke from. ARC investigator Scott Tolke also smelled something from that bedroom. He lost his sense of smell years prior to a head injury. So how in the hell could he smell something? He said he didn't know what it smelled like. It was just disgusting, whatever it was. And this was the only night we brought Chris Owen's service dog with us, Sam. And we lost a lot of footage that night due to user error. So who knows what we caught. But this brings into question, what about these dogs at the rectory? Those animals that were abused in here due to dog fighting. Is there any evidence of those creatures still existing in here?
Are we doing this right, Casper?
Now, we've caught these barks and whimpers on audio before in cameras. They are not EVPs. They are actually coming from the neighbor's dogs.
I'm sorry, it stinks down here. So, you're gone? I didn't hear, I heard a really cool whistle. Did you? And the door's open. Up here, I didn't realize that. It was open, right? Yeah. Okay. I got it on tape. It was like animals, right? Yeah.
Animal jumped like a dog.
Okay. Kevin said he's seen something. Said it looked like a dog that jumped or something.
Right here is the first time we used a Connect grid, and I seen what looked like a little stick-figured animal jumping over a hurdle. I did not capture this on video. We did not have record capability at that time. First time we used it. Yeah, it looked like something jumped, like leg looked like a fucking animal, like a skeleton.
Is that you?
Is that you, Casper?
Where is it?
It's right in front of us. Move your arm.
Move your arm up. Move your left arm up. Where'd it go?
Just disappear. This is the spot right here. Dude, it looked like a fucking dog leg. That was the coolest thing. It looked like a fucking animal jumping.
Dude, are you sure it's because you're not moving it around or something?
No, I mean, I wish I would have captured that. The majority of the EVPs that we capture are always very subtle, and their voices out of nowhere.
That's when you know you're fucked in that movie too, when it says you have 10 seconds to figure it out.
Who's whispering? I heard goddamn or something being whispered.
No.
If your name's not Casper, it must be Jasper then, right?
What's my name? Say my name through there.
That sounded like your name.
Now this next video clip is one of the last times I was at the rectory, and it's just amazing to get such a nice response when I've done nothing but belittle everything in here. Alright, up here in the priest bedroom. Nice little lineup, so the EVP voices that we have captured here are not consistent. It's not like we're dealing with the same personalities. It seems like they're different every time. And it's not just limited to the rectory, it's the church and the nun's house right behind it. People talk about a light coming on this window after the electricity was cut off. I don't know. We also talked to a lady that lives across the street from the nun's house. She claims she witnessed people in the windows.
It's not better. And this is
Really?
coming from a pro photographer.
Cool.
But it's simpler to use. Like this that we can throw.
Yeah, the nun's house right here. Now I know both of our voices, and we do not investigate for entertainment purposes. This voice is not ours. We know there's a Casper out in this motherfucker right here. You in there, Casper? You in there, bitch? Hello? Why don't you come to the rectory and play tonight? Why don't you come on out?